What's going on, city of Coatesville? Welcome to another episode, show 14 of the Seville Sports Mentality Show with the Sports Rev and Coatesville's own Mr. Grubb. How you doing, Mr. Grubb?
I'm great, man. Coming off of Easter Sunday and spending time with the family, man. So I am great. It feels like we skipped Saturday though. I don't remember Saturday. Feels like we skipped it. So Monday comes around and you get back on the grind, and here we are on the show. About to have a great show.
No diggity, no doubt. And we've been away for a couple of weeks, but glad to be back. And we're so glad to be able to air this episode on today. As we come on, we want you to like and share this broadcast. If you haven't already done so, like the Seville Sports Network Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be grateful for your like or share or subscription on YouTube. Share it, let somebody know that the Seville Sports Mentality Show with the Sports Rev and Mr. Grubb is on the air. And also, we seek to do what we do, and that is be the sports pride of Coatesville. All right. Now that we got some preliminaries out the way, trying to knock off some of the cobwebs since we haven't been on for a couple of weeks. But as we normally do, we do our cash check-in. This time where anybody can check in, but we especially want those graduates from that school in Coatesville called Coatesville Area High School to check in. When you check in, let us know what year you graduated from Coatesville as we do this cash check-in. So, with that being said, we start with Mr. Grubb as he checks in. And what year are you checking in for?
Well, this year will be our 30th class reunion from the class of 1995. Loud because ain't nobody else gonna be loud, so I gotta be the loud one.
1995. Now that's my same year, and the way you said it, because you started it with 30 years, that started making me like, we're getting old.
I was debating on whether I was going to say 30 years, but you know what? I'm gonna live it. I'm gonna love it, man, because once it gets to 45. 50 years, the attendance is going to start to go down. So you want to celebrate while you can.
For sure. Especially while you're still in your right mind and you still have mobility. For sure. Exactly. Because as you keep on going, you start seeing people slow down. You start seeing people having all these ailments, and they look like what they've been through. So it's starting to get real. It's definitely
starting to look like Levi, shut up, because you're about to say something you shouldn't be saying. Man, sometimes you just don't, just because you got diarrhea of the lips, don't mean you got to let it come out. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm working on that. This is my first quarter of the year resolution after the first quarter, because we're in the fourth quarter. Fourth month.
We're in the second one now.
I'm back. I'm shaking off the cobwebs, Rev. It's been a couple weeks, man.
I got you. We got a couple of people who checked in. Lance Sigler checking in with that year 1997.
Young buck.
Then we got Brother Bowman, Minister Craig Bowman, checking in 1988. Here to see about his nephew, Dymere. We truly appreciate you tuning in on tonight. Sister Harris, my mother, my biggest cheerleader, she says, good evening. She said the show got a big shout out at the Zeta Phi Beta Scholarship Gala Saturday night. Being a good mother, I tell you.
Yeah, Rev, congratulations, man. I saw that, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And big ups to the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta in Westchester. They deemed me Citizen of the Year for 2024-2025. So I greatly appreciate them. Matt Gorham, representing that 9-6 in the house. Glad to have you as well as everybody tuning in. And if there's anybody else who is tuning in, please be so kind to chime in. Let us know that you're tuning in. And if you're a cash graduate, let us know what year you graduated from. You want to say something?
Yeah, Matt Gorham is not only an alumni of Coatesville Senior High School, but he's an alumni of the Seville Sports Mentality Show. So shout out to Matt Gorham for being one of our first guests during these 14 shows, man.
Facts. And we appreciate the love that he shows even when he's not on the show. So we greatly appreciate that, because there's some folk, once they do their interview, they don't see nothing else. They got nothing else to deal with us. But Matt Gorham is definitely not one of those persons, and we appreciate him tuning in. All right. Let's see. We got one more. The Dolores Hines. I think I know that woman. That she's affectionately my big sis. Mm-hmm. She attends the First Baptist Church Pastor, and I believe she is a relative of our guest on tonight. So she's here to check on her family tonight. And somebody said, Matt Gorham, old Ed Shane, coming at you in the chat on today. All right, so all during the show, feel free to check in. Let us know that you're tuning in, and we want to show you some love. We'll put you on the screen. With that being said, it's been a minute since we've done it, but we want to show some Red Raiders respect to some athletes who have accomplished some things while we have been on hiatus these past 2 weeks. And before we do that, yes, he's my nephew. Okay. Thought I read that somewhere. And Matt wanted to say this. Proud. Dymere was a young boy I coached at Coatesville Little League. Dude could, I guess that means throw a baseball through a fence. And he's a lefty. All right. Cool. So we see that there are some fans of Dymere. And at the top of the hour, you'll see a guy, Dymere Miller, finished up his career at Rutgers, and he's an NFL draft hopeful, and we look forward to interviewing him at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. Now, we're going to go and give these young people some Red Raiders respect as we show them some love. So here we go, and we'll be right. We are showing Red Raiders respect to senior lacrosse player Magnus Klauser. Scored his 100th goal of the season and broke the single season record for goals for Cache High School. And also, we're showing Red Raiders respect to freshman Colton Hiller, being named Chester County Area Player of the Year for the basketball season of 2024 and 2025. Let me just say real quickly about Magnus Klauser. I had a chance to see him play as I covered the lacrosse game week before. Matter of fact, it was last week. And that young man is dynamite. He actually played football this past season. And even though the lacrosse team might not be having a great season, this young man individually is having a phenomenal season. He is a beast out there on that lacrosse field. He has a way of playing lacrosse while he's still playing football, because dude was literally trucking a few people out there on the field. And he had about 4 or 5 goals at that game. So big ups to Magnus Klauser. And Mr. Grubb, you know this young man. You covered him all season long. Freshman Colton Hiller, big name, Chester County area. Chester County area basketball player of the year. What do you want to say about these two young men in particular?
Well, Klauser, I never met Klauser before, and I'm looking for the opportunity to do that, man. But I mean, lacrosse is a is a different beast, man. It is similar to football because they do rough each other up, man. And I watch them when I do those events as far as lacrosse events and with Mr. Grubb and everything. But yeah, that's pretty dope. I'm looking forward to getting out there. But yeah, congratulations to Colton, man. That's another award he's racking up, man, at the young age of 14. I don't know if he turned 15 yet, but that's a pretty high award to get at that age, man. So we're going to continue to watch him and keep rooting him on.
No doubt. And I've been seeing some clippings from some of his spring, summer basketball, and he is letting people know he's about that basketball life, and he's doing his thing. He's definitely doing his thing.
He ended up dropping 31 at the Donna Frio Classic in one of those games, man.
Yeah, I read that. I guess that's the one I read that was on social media. So people definitely know about Colton Hill, and we look forward to seeing what he's going to do during his sophomore season. And as we're talking about basketball, we're going to shift into update on spring sports, but also we want to talk about some milestones, and let's talk about Colton's teammate, Jonas Chester. There was something that was posted on social media about him, and I'm going to show it to the people so we can show Jonas some love. Said Jonas did a little bit of everything for his team this weekend. The 6'7" wing attacked the rim with authority, finished above the rim, knocked down shots, and took full advantage of mismatches. He handled the ball with confidence and proved he's a true 3-level scorer. Now, that wasn't the Jonas that we saw in the season, but we definitely will welcome this Jonas during his senior campaign next year. Matter of fact, piggying back off a previous interview we did with his coaches, in particular Ricky Hicks, he was talking about how he wanted Jonas to step up. Maybe, just maybe, Jonas may have heard the message of one of his coaches. What do you have to say about what we just read?
Man, Jonas is, first of all, what I'm going to work on with him, it ain't got nothing to do with basketball. Just smiling more, man. You know, just smile, man. A smile will make your day better, Jonas. But listen, I'm proud of the kid, man. He's obviously he's working on his game. He's trying to get better so he can contribute more to the team. But he's going to be important piece to the next year's squad with him, Larry, of course, Colton, and then you know, it's going to be very important for him to be strong and to play above the rim next year, because next year's the year. I'm gonna tell him right now. Next year's the year. No excuses.
Yeah, and this is last year, so it got to be the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If not next year, then when? You know. So
don't be crying. No.
Yeah, he definitely got to come ready. And the good news is that he's going to have opportunities to shine because so much attention is going to be on number one, Colton, and number two, Larry.
Yep.
So it's there for him to really shine. And all he has to do is put in the work this summer and watch him bloom, because I would love to be a third option on this team. Because if I were playing, I would be having my hands ready to receive the ball, because I know I'm gonna get some good shots, because teams are gonna be focusing on Colton and Larry. So I'm gonna just get ready, because my time is coming, because double teams are coming Colton's way, double teams are coming Larry's way. Guess what? When there's a double team, I'm gonna be wide open, so I'll be ready to shot.
And it's going to be easy because he does have a mid-range shot. I was surprised to see that, you know, this season, the times where he took those shots, but he has a mid-range shot. So that's what they were kind of talking about in one of the articles I read, or was it that article? So if he gets stronger, man, more, you know, aggressive down low, the sky's the limit for him, man. The sky's he reminds me of the one kid that was just highlighted that played for Norfolk State. That's from Coastal, Tyrell Blanton, I believe. He reminds me a little bit like as Tyrell was when he played. But Tyrell is a little bit more aggressive. So it just shows that, throughout the year, after your senior year, and then you go into college, how much can change and how much you can develop. So, like I said, the sky's the limit with him. The ultimate thing is you got to want it.
And you can't coach that. That's for
No.
sure. There's no drill for wanting it. Either you want it or you're not, or you don't want it. But one thing I will say, not only does Jonas have a mid-range game, but he also has a good corner three.
Oh,
he
yeah.
hit several corner threes this year, and hopefully he'll expand his range and also increase his ball handling abilities, because if he can learn to take the ball to the rack, to your point, with power, with more strength, he'll go a long way, because we saw the evolution of Larry's game this year.
Yeah.
Larry put on some muscle, and Larry at certain points didn't even know his own strength. Mm-hmm. But if Jonas puts on 10, 15 pounds of muscle, he is going to be a problem next year. So we're wishing the best for Jonas, and we hope that we continue to see these type of reports. And I know Coach Tootie is salivating, saying, I can't wait to see this type of stuff coming in the fall. Real quickly, let me go over some comments. Sister Dolores Hines, the aunt of Dymere, said, I taught Magnus's twin brother, Mattis, in 4th grade. All right. Well, Magnus is doing his thing. Wayne Boggs is checking in. Class of 2001 is in the Seville Sports Mentality building. Minister Bowman said, I believe it's Dymere Miller's time. God will show up in all of this. And we're touching and agreeing with that statement right there. Stephen Jackson, good evening to you, brother. Glad to have you, one of the fine young people from the First Baptist Church, Pastor. I truly appreciate you tuning in. Again, at the top of the hour, we have a wonderful interview with Rutgers standout and NFL draft hopeful Dymere Miller. So go ahead and start hitting your share button. Let somebody know that Dymere is on the way at the top of the hour. If you're on YouTube, hit that share button, copy the link, text it to somebody. If you're on Facebook, or go ahead, share it. Somebody on your timeline might want to see this interview. So we will greatly appreciate you doing those things that we just requested. Real quickly, the baseball team is playing as we speak. Had a chance to watch a couple of their games, and they have some real good talent. They have a real talented pitcher. His full name slips my mind, but his first name is Sean. He's the ace of the staff, and I saw him pitch a wonderful game last Monday against Rayer. What's the guy's name? Civil rights person.
Oh, Baynard Rustin.
Baynard Rustin. Thank you. Baynard Rustin. And they
got to update too, Rev.
Huh?
Just got to update. The boys won 18-4 over Bishop Shanahan.
I'm glad I didn't go to that game afterward. Because I was planning to do a little coverage before the show, but my body said, after a long Holy Week weekend, it just wasn't going to happen. So I'm glad I didn't really miss a whole lot. I missed a lot of Coatesville's offense, and I look forward to seeing it in a more competitive game in the future. But big ups to the baseball team for winning 18-4. And it was a pleasure covering them. And Coach Zig was very welcoming last week as I interviewed him after the game. And Sean, the game-winning pitcher, was very articulate. And it was just a wonderful time at the ballpark over in Westchester. And we hope to get to one of their games this week. Also, last Monday, I had a chance to see the boys lacrosse team, and I was actually there to see Magnus Klauser score his 100th goal. And one of the things I was impressed about Magnus, not only did he have a phenomenal game, and I'm not a lacrosse aficionado by any stretch of the imagination, but the one thing I loved about him was post-game, where I had a chance to interview him. Even though they are struggling this season, he was really speaking life into the future of the team, where he was talking about his little brother on the team, and he was also talking about how they have some young talent on the team. And typically, you might see kids his age worrying about himself. It's his senior year. The team is not doing the best. And sometimes it would be all about that individual. But he said, no. I want y'all to know these young kids are coming. And I'm here to help them in their development. So he is casting vision into the future of boys lacrosse for Coatesville. So I really applaud that young man. The softball team plays tonight at 6:45. I had a chance to see them recently, and they have some good talent. And I'm looking forward to providing more coverage for them, or the network providing more coverage for them, because they have a pretty solid team. And I think they'll be a contender for the Chestmont Championships, along with the baseball team will be contenders for the Chestmont Championships. Oh, yeah. And the girls lacrosse team, they're playing some decent ball. I think they kind of playing 500 lacrosse, but I had a chance to check them out, and we look forward to seeing them. Matter of fact, there'll be lacrosse coverage on tomorrow, both boys and girls. So we're looking forward to that. You want to say anything about any of the spring sports?
No, I'm just playing. I haven't been out there yet, man. You know, got a lot of things going on, but you've been doing a yeoman's job of holding down the fort, man. You know, and I've been in that situation, you know, out there by myself, and it's not easy. It's not easy doing an interview, holding the camera, doing it all. So I'm watching. I'm like, now Rev know how I felt when he was down in Oklahoma, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, all the way down the south. I don't know what he was doing down there, but I'm like, yo, bro, you need to get back here, man. Come on. Yeah, you know, but I get it, man. Listen, I'm gonna get out there next week. I'll be out there. You're going back down south again.
Yeah, I'm going to Texas next week.
All right, so I can't have no excuses. I'll be out there lacrosse, baseball, JV. Not JV. Who else is it? The girls softball team. I'm gonna be out there. Mr. Grubb gonna be out there, and y'all just welcome me with open arms, and we just gonna go from there, man. Because you know what I was thinking about, Ray, real quick, because I know we got a little bit of time to kill, right? When you said you were glad you didn't go to the Bishop Shanahan game, and I had flashbacks of when I was fighting you and Kim about going to the boys basketball game when they played Bishop Shanahan, because everybody thought they was gonna blow them out. And you know, I'm glad I went to the girls game with you, because you know we had to do what we had to do and get the girls some love, man. And you know, it happened. But what made me so uneasy that I couldn't sleep that night was because I found out during the game they were in the overtime.
Yeah.
Then I found out that Colton was going off, and I literally tried to drive up there to catch at least 30 seconds of the game. And I got up there, everybody was walking out, but yeah, that just brought back some flashbacks. I'm sorry.
That's going to be one of your, I don't know if I can say greatest, one of your most, what word do I want to describe it as?
I was being selfish. I was
going to say one of your more complicated moments for 6'10", where your body was one place, but your mind and heart were at another place.
Y'all literally told me, you're like, you guys were my mom and dad. You're going to this game.
Well, we had to show the girls basketball team some love. There was senior night. Come on, man. We gotta do what's right.
I'm glad we did it, because we actually got to, you know, interview team and meet some of the girls and interview them and stuff like that, man. So that's all good, man. We need to do that. So.
No doubt about it. We got some more people chimed in. Monique London had her hands lifted up. So something we said must have registered with her. Bro Bowman said, Rev, do you know me? I'm Herc's brother. I think I know of you. If I saw your face, I might have something. I might be able to say yay or nay. But I appreciate you asking that question. And if I don't know you, I look forward to meeting you real soon. All right.
You know Hurt, right?
Oh, now, okay. She said, let me be clear. My hands were not lifted up because of anything that you and Mr. Grubb said. It was all about Dymere coming up at the top of the hour. I got you. I got you. She's ready for the interview.
Some kind of way, Monique. I thought you was give me some love.
No.
Look, we got Dymere coming on, so you know Hurt, Rev?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You know that's Dymere's grandfather, right?
Okay, yeah. I didn't know. I can't say yeah, but one thing since I've been living in Coatesville, if I have a conversation with somebody for more than 5 minutes, I'm gonna learn they're related to somebody I know they were related to. So, so that's the culture. Monique found what you said funny, Mr. Grubb. She said, "Stop it." Lisa Miller said, "Levi."
Hello. Hey, there we go. I'm sorry. So Lisa is Dymere's grandmother.
Okay.
I used to work with Lisa years ago. This is why we talk about 30 years. I feel old, Rev. We were young bucks working at the credit card manufacturer. It was Dymere when he thought of, I don't think.
Wow.
But yeah, Lisa actually sponsored my daughter when she graduated in 2020. Because that's what we do. Like you adopt a senior.
Okay.
People in the community, they'll adopt a senior, and then they'll buy them things to, help prepare them for their college. If they're going to college, some linens and things like that. It's a good thing, man. But Lisa she adopted my daughter, man. Never forget that day.
That's dope. That's dope. She'll always have a similar place in your heart, and she's sending up some hearts by you telling that story.
Yeah, good family, man. He comes from a good family. Definitely.
Monique London said he's my relative too, so they're excited about their family member Dymere, and it's wonderful to see all of this love by his family. We truly appreciate you all tuning in, supporting your loved one. Lisa said his mother Shaquita's on. Okay.
Yep. So Shaquita and my baby sister were good friends when they were younger, So I think I'm related to him, Rev.
Uh-oh.
At this point. What's up, cuz?
Oh, Lord. Good evening to you, Brother Dana. Tuning in, one of the 5 members of First Baptist Church of Passtown. Truly appreciate you, Brother Dana, chiming in, letting us know that you are tuning in, and we look forward in a couple of minutes for Dymere pulling up his video so that we can get ready to do this interview. Matter of fact, here it is. Good evening. The mom is in the building.
Good people, man.
And she said, yes, my first friend.
Yep.
And Minister Bowman said, do you know me, Mr. Grubb?
As you know how we do, man. If I see you, I know you. But if you Hurt's brother, I know you somehow. All right. I watched him. He was on yeah, we gotta get Dymere on, but I watched him on. He did an interview with Brother Fonz, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched that interview. It was a good interview. Yep.
Okay. Brother Hank, another good member of First Baptist Church Passtown, said, I'm representing the class of 1973. I see you, bro, Hank. Thank you so much.
I got to mess with Hank, Red. From now on, it's not 1973. It's 1973.
And that, you know what? And we're part of that 1900 now. When we it sounds like it's ancient.
Oh man, 1977. Are you kidding me?
Oh man. So that's interesting right there. We're ready to bring on Dymere. He's backstage. We just need to pull up his video, and then we'll do this introduction. All right. There you go. All right. So let's get this thing going as he is pulled up his video. Let me just give a couple of steps. Said, don't start with me. That's class of 73. Okay.
73.
73. And then Minister Bowman said, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grubb, she put an S on it. That's that down south action where they put an S on everything. Kroger is Kroger's, Walmart is Walmart's. You know, that's what
hey, Rev, after he eat Mr. Grubb, he calls it Mr. Grubbs and he get the itis. So I know what he talked about. He all right.
Hey, that's what's up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time that many of you all have tuned in for. We are ready to interview one of Coatesville's own, one of Coatesville's finest. Getting ready for the NFL draft. Had a phenomenal career at Monmouth. Also had a phenomenal career at Rutgers. And also, he's ready to take the next step. And as I was introducing him, his video went out. So somebody's playing some tricks on us real quickly. But he's backstage. So
I know it's too good to be true.
Yeah, he's backstage. He's backstage. His video just went out, so we're gonna give him another minute. Maybe I should have just brought him on while his face was showing. But we'll bring him on in just a moment. I already shared that. All right. So while we're waiting, here he is. Without any further ado, let's bring on Coatesville's own Dymere Miller. What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all for having me on here today.
Well, we're glad to have you, and welcome to the Coatesville Sports Mentality Show on the Coatesville Sports Network, for we call ourselves the sports pride of Coatesville. And we thank you so much for taking out the time during your busy football schedule to come on with us for our show number 14. Mr. Grubb, you got it.
Man, listen, I'm sitting here trying to think of theme songs for Dymere. And the best one I can come up with is Don't Call It a Comeback. LL Cool J, one of the greatest rappers, in my opinion, that has ever lived. So, Dymere, how you doing, man? Nice to meet you. Because the last time I probably saw you, and you might get this from a lot of old people, you was this big. You was this big, Dymere. So I haven't seen you, man. So it was hard for me to like come up with some questions, man, because like, oh man, we're gonna do this, but. So we're going to start out like this, Dymere. We're going to start from the beginning, all right?
Yeah.
Growing up in Coatesville, you played multiple sports. What was the first sport that you played competitively?
Basketball. I didn't play football at first growing up. It was basketball.
So you played football, baseball, basketball?
Yeah. It started off with basketball and baseball first, competitively.
Okay.
I didn't get to football until middle school when I started playing really competitively. Well, Little League, 120s. I don't know if that's middle school or if that's a little before middle school. 120 pounds.
So was it called the Coatesville Kid Raiders back then, or was it still Coatesville Midget League football?
It was the Kid Raiders.
The Kid Raiders?
Yeah.
All right. And y'all were playing at the Scott Field at the time, or did y'all play at the field in front of the old Scott building?
Yeah, it was at Scott Field, right down the street near the tunnel that leads you to the high school. That field right there.
So who was your coach at the time?
My coach that year, well, who was my coach when because my first year I was on JV. I forget who my coach was that year, but I know the next year when I went to varsity, my coach was my pop-up Steph.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had the experience of having a family member coach you and look out for you.
Yeah, I did. I ain't get in though.
How was that conversation?
It wasn't all pieces and cream though, because he's my pub. I ain't even get in for real.
That's good stuff. So when you start playing basketball, what league did you play for? Did you play for um Rip City?
Yeah, Rip
Did
City.
you play Rip City and you
Yeah.
played with Jigs and Dymere or Dupree?
Yeah, Jig, Pre, Ryder, AJ, Deuce. I can keep going, all of them.
So that is a great group of young kids that are still living the dream right now. Most
Yeah.
of you guys are. Um, I sit back and I talk to other people, man, and we always talk about, man, what if them kids had stayed together, you
Right.
know, playing basketball, football, what could have happened? But everybody goes their own ways for whatever reasons. Do you still talk to them guys to this day? Are y'all still friends?
Yeah. Yeah, I still talk to all of them. I
Okay.
still talk to all of them all the time, for sure. Yeah. We stay in contact, checking up on each other and stuff like that.
Now, do y'all talk about, the things that y'all going through at this stage in your lives? You
Yeah, of
know,
course.
tell us something about that, man. I mean, don't you ain't got to tell us the nitty gritty, but some people just want to know because everybody doesn't get that opportunity, to
Yeah.
have one of their closest friends as when they were kids that are still playing at a high level, whether it's college or pros or whatever. What do you
Yeah.
guys talk about?
Mainly when we talk, we're kind of like each other's corner, like escape corner kind of, because like we all understand what we're going through, like on days if we don't play our best or stuff like that, we all kind of come to each other and, you feel me, stay in each other's corner so that it's not too heavy on our minds. So we don't really get into the sports talk that much because like we each other's escape from that, you get what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Then we just talk about like later in life, like how we gonna build with money, like and how we can have like generational revenue and stuff like that most of the time. Now obviously we
That's
just
good.
kick in and stuff like that too.
That's good stuff, man. So we're gonna jump up a little bit to high school. Um, you were a different kind of a story as far as having a career in high school. You had a little setback with the accident, and you had to sit out. What grade did you ended up coming back and being able to play high school sports? Was it the 11th grade, your junior year, or your senior year?
Yeah, it was 11th grade. It was 11th grade. I still was out there though with a little bit of pain, but by the senior year though, I was fine though. Everything was back going right.
So I'm going to ask you this question because it may help another kid that's going through some trials or tribulations and not able to do what they love to do or want to do. What was your driving force to say at the end of the day, and you were able to play again, and still with pain, I'm going to fight through this because of what?
It really was my family that really kept my spirits high and just kept me going with all that was going on. Just having them, that's really what kept me to keep driving and just keep fighting through the adversity that I was going through.
So you speak about your family, man, and like we were joking earlier on the show. I know a lot of your family. Um, like they say, most of us in culture is related somehow. If we
Yeah,
ain't, that's my cuz or whatever. Your father, Doug, and I hear you speak about him highly a lot.
that was
He's
my,
very
that's who I think that's, yeah, my coach was my Uncle Erlin. My Uncle
okay.
Erlin was one of my coaches back then in Little League.
Okay. And your dad is Doug, right?
Yeah.
And I hear you speak about Doug highly and how he pushes you. Tell us a little bit about your dad since we're on a family topic, man.
Yeah, my dad, he been like one of the main vessels in my corner this whole time since I've been playing sports. He always been on top of it more than me, just wanting it more for me than anything. And just having somebody like that, it just makes everything more easier because you can come to somebody that understands the game and stuff like that, and somebody that can teach you it too. So just having a father figure like that has just been amazing.
Yeah, it's not a nowadays it's not really a normal thing for and I'm gonna be up blunt with it, our culture to
Right.
have fathers in our lives. I was one that didn't have my father in my life. So a guy like me looking at that, I'm like, man, you were blessed to have that, man. So um continue to appreciate that and be blessed. And then, when I had my son, I did the opposite. I made sure I was in his life.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the conversations that your dad may be having with you when you were younger, and you were hearing it, but it might not have been registering. And now you're an older young man right now. You probably realize what some of the things he was saying was correct.
Yeah, the
It-
stuff that I definitely realized he was saying was correct was back then, as far as like how much work you had to put in to get to this level. Like, back then I didn't really understand. I just wanted to play because that's what it was. I felt like it just was fun. But at the time, I didn't really understand the work that you really had to put in. Like, we would be working out, but I didn't know how much it would help in the long run till now.
yeah, it's tough as a father, and even like if you're not really officially their coach, you're still coaching them. You're coaching them in
Yeah.
life, and then you're coaching them in sports. There had to be times where you had to get frustrated and say, "Man, I ain't listening to this guy."
Yeah, of course. Of
So
course.
what happened?
I mean, at the end of the day,
Did you say
I
it
can
out
say that.
loud, or were you just thinking it?
I mean, like, like it wasn't my dad wasn't always my coach. So like the times when he was my coach though, we might say a few things, but like it never was nothing too crazy. Cause my dad always just he just would be there at the games and stuff, and he just talked to me after, and I just hear his opinion on what he got to say. But when he was a coach though, I might bump heads a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure
Cause
you wouldn't.
that's just what's been the game though. Just
Yeah.
both of our attitudes, just wanting to win. You get what I'm saying, and stuff like that, just being locked in.
Now you come from a family that you guys have some good athletic stock. Your dad was a good athlete.
Yeah.
Uh, his father was a really good athlete, and I know this. I never seen your grandfather play basketball, but I know from the old heads that talk to me at the games, and I met your grandfather this year by the way at one of the
hmm
games. Not a man of many words, but
No, yeah, he's not gonna say too much.
yeah, real calm, cool, and collected. It's like he had somebody else, like how Muhammad Ali had the hype man.
Yeah.
That's what he had, and
Yeah,
he's
I kind of feel like we all act the same way. We kind of all act like that, to be honest.
it's all right, and it's cool. It's really cool, man. Because I'm sitting there, I'm enamored and listening to the story, and then I'm starting to put everything together. Like, okay, all right, this is where this guy gets this gift and this athletic ability from. Because coming into your senior year and achieving what you achieved, if you sit back and think about it, you were one game away from the state championship in football. You
Yeah,
lost in the semifinal to Harrisburg. You were you lost in the semifinals during basketball, and then you end up winning the state championship in a 4x100 relay up in Shippensburg, and that's
yeah,
all in the span of 1 year. Tell me, after that year, did you think about how that year went?
yeah. I still think about it to this day, honestly. How that year should have went.
Mm,
Like how we wish to planned out. Because everybody knew we shouldn't have lost to Harrisburg that year because we killed them earlier in the season. I don't
yep.
remember. I don't know what happened that game when we lost, and
You
then
lost 27-24.
yeah, and then even that basketball game versus who's that? Kennedy Catholic.
I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, we was winning. We was up. We was up going into the fourth quarter, I think, or the third quarter, one of them, and we let them come back. So those are two games that we let get away from us. You know,
So
I
that
definitely wish we
basketball
could bring
team,
that back.
sorry, that basketball team, you had it was you had Jiggs, all-time leading scorer. You had who else was on that team, Dymere?
Bree, Aaron, Tion, John Proctor, DJ Brickus, Big Ricky, and a couple other young guys. I don't really remember everybody else.
So if you look at that team, man, you got some athletes on that team, man.
Yeah.
And I think that you guys, I'm not gonna say you overachieved, right? Because you had the stars. I
hmm
think I really thought that you guys could have went further.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good season, man. was probably one of the chances we did have to win a state championship.
Right,
But like you said, it just didn't happen. But that 1 year was amazing for you, and I think you truly deserved it because you worked so hard to get back to that point.
right.
You know. So Mother's Day is coming up, Dymere,
Yeah.
next month. Tell the viewers what your mom has meant to you during this journey.
Everything. My mom, she's the one at home holding everything together, calling on me, checking on me, make sure I'm in the right headspace, and just her support throughout this whole process just been amazing. From growing up to even here now, just her even trying to learn the game and understand what's going on. To even oh, are y'all still right here?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, all right. Oh, y'all just made me bigger.
We just
Yeah,
want you to
full
talk.
screen to
Oh,
build them.
okay,
You
all right.
good?
I thought it messed up, but yeah, but just her support system. That's her mother. Like, I'm the only child, so I grew up a mama's boy. So I love my mom. She mean everything to me for real.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I wanted you to get that out because I love giving people their flowers, man.
Right.
And mamas always deserve their flowers. So keep
Yeah.
appreciating her and cherish her and do what you do, man, and make her proud, man. So and we already talked about your dad, but how he was an influence in your life.
Hmm.
What was some of the advice? What was some of the best advice he has given you, and does it still apply today? Like if you get into a
Yeah.
situation, do you think what will my dad tell me?
Yeah. My dad tells me, he been telling me this since young, and just he always tell me to just make sure I'm going hard and working for real. He just said that when I was on the phone with him earlier. Matter of fact, after we just hung up, he told me make sure I'm going hard. I feel like that's been his advice forever, and he been sticking to that. Just me going hard at whatever I'm doing.
As they say, Dymere, fathers know best.
Right.
Fathers do know best, and you are a father yourself, man. Give your daughter a shout out or something, man, because I could see it in your face. What's her name, Dymere?
Layla, yeah, that's my baby girl. She downstairs right now running around. I had to close the room out on her. She might jump in the camera or something on us while we on here. But yeah, the Layla came at a downtime when I was at Monmouth, and I feel like once she came, like it just made everything better. Just as far as like how I think about stuff, my mentality going into stuff and things like that. And just having a daughter and just finding that soft spot and like just learning how to love different. She helped with that too.
And how old is she, Dymere?
Can you say that again?
How old is your daughter?
She's one. She'll be two on the 22nd next month.
It's crazy how kids can do that. And I brought her up for a reason because I wanted to see you smile, man, because you got some great things about to happen in your life, you
Right.
know, hopefully and everything. But Rev can attest to having a daughter. I can attest to having a daughter. And man, they can get you when they want, man. They got you. When they
Yeah.
want something, it ain't hard for them to get it from their daddies, man. So
Nah.
yeah, you
Exactly.
got hey Rev, you got a long way to go. But just enjoy it, brother. Just enjoy
Enjoy
it,
while you
man.
can.
All
Enjoy
right,
Yeah.
while you
y'all.
So I got a couple more questions for you, Dymere, and then I'm going to hand it off to Rev.
Mhm.
I want you to talk about some of your former teammates, Jigs, AJ, and I know we touched on them a little bit, but
Mhm.
tell me some things like what they mean to you because I know they're still your friends now. Just give them some shout
Yeah.
outs.
Yeah, I just talked to Jig and AJ today. We always on the phone. But yeah, they mean everything to me. Those are my brothers. Like I said, like we each other escape from everything that goes on, and like just having brothers like that, because obviously I grew up with no siblings. So just having people like that when y'all just all on the same mission, aiming for the same thing, it makes it even more better for your friendship. Because we all understand each other and we all understand what's going on. And we all in the same position, even though I play football and they play basketball, we still all playing at the highest level. So we know what it takes. We know how some days can get and stuff like that. And just being most of the time we're just being here for each other.
So there's always definitely a method to my madness of why I ask these certain questions because um you telling us that you were the only child, and then those guys are like your brothers. I
Yeah.
want to give them their flowers too and let them know what they mean to you. As I
Right.
already know you tell them, but on air in front of the whole world, man.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I'm gonna end it with this, Rev. Dymere, what was the most memorable moment playing, whether it was coastal football, coastal basketball, or track? What was your most memorable moment?
Ooh, I say I'm gonna have to give you one for each sport. I'm gonna say for football, it was when we played. Who did we play? We played St. Joe's Prep, and Pre had that one game where he was going off.
Hmm.
That was a good memorable moment. Then our first game when I finally started my senior year versus Harrisburg, that was. And then for basketball, I say when we played Chester in that semi game, and Jig had 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then track was when we was at Penn Relays my senior year. The final when we made it to the championship race. And we was racing against all the Jamaicans, and the Jamaicans was waving their flags in my face and everything. It was crazy. Yeah.
I mean that's definitely a memorable moment, man.
Right.
That's about 4 or 5 memorable
Nah,
moments.
yeah. In high school, I'm not lying. I can go all day about memorable moments in high school. There's too many of them.
Man, listen, if you sit back, and I'm sure you sit back and you just look at your short career
Right.
in high school and everything that you accomplished, man, there's something about you, man. You're special. Keep working hard, man.
I
And I
appreciate
also
that.
wanted to say to you, you'll probably be most likely you'll be inducted into the Coastal Hall of Fame.
If I shoot that, I hope that'd be amazing.
Well, listen, it'll probably be for track, but it got to be for track and football. You know, they do people, the
Yeah.
certain sports they play. But this is what I want you to do. When they call you and they say, "Listen, Dymere, you're going to be inducted into the Coastal Football Hall of Fame or the Coastal Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame,"
Yeah.
you gotta give them and you gotta tell them this, man. I'm not going in there until y'all induct my grandfather into the Coastal Sports Hall of Fame,
Right.
because what I heard, he
He
was
should be in
all
there.
urban, all
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, man. So got to take him in there with you, man.
Right.
Take him in there with you. Hey,
Let
real
me
quick,
read some comments right quick. Let me read some comments right quick.
yep,
Reverend
go ahead.
Steve Crutchfield. Good evening, everyone. Proud of you, young man. Did not know that you
Crutchfield.
even talked, but I see that you've done your talking on the gridiron, Coatesville, and Pastime Pride. You want to say anything about Reverend Crutchfield real quick?
Yeah, I remember Reverend Crutchfield them days when we used to be in the at the Bible study classes and stuff. I appreciate Reverend Crutchfield.
That was at Pastime?
Yeah, that's a good guy right there for sure.
Yep.
I totally agree. That's the church I pastor now.
I appreciate all my past town family when I used to be up there.
All
My
right,
mom
well,
used to have me in church from 6 in the morning to 1 o'clock.
I'm the pastor of Pastime now, so I hope to see you
Oh
at
yeah.
some point.
Oh shoot. I didn't even know that. Reverend
So
Crutchfield.
don't lose your Pastime pride now.
No, I got baptized there. That's always home.
Oh, cool. So we make sure you remember home now. Remember
Of
home.
course.
Hey,
Hey,
Douglas
Rev, I
fans,
told you we family.
that's what's
Some
up.
way, somehow.
Douglas fans sent you some hearts. Your mama said at one point you had to be made to work out. Now you do it
Yeah.
just because. Your great aunt said, Leticia Wilson, yes, great nephew. Sheila Smith said no choice. His family wanted better for him. To what Mr. Grubb just said, Mr. Bowman says, Grandpa Hurt was a great running back. Also, to the point earlier, your daughter's watching the broadcast right now.
Yeah.
And Derek, smooth operator, giving you some love. Mr. Grubb saying you're doing a good interview.
Thanks,
Levi.
Bill.
Minister Bowman says, love your nephew. John Abdullah giving you the strength sign. Your mama's giving you some stars. I guess that's Pistachio Olive said, hey, Demi, I love you. You are amazing. Tynesha Hines, yes, you are amazing. Let's go, cuz. And then Lord have mercy, you're very loved, young man. That's awesome. Dymere, your mom is so proud of you. Lance Ziegler, keep working hard. I remember coaching you at Coatesville Little League.
Yes, sir,
Rev
Coach
Crutchfield
Ziegler.
came back in there, said thank you. We're very proud of you. And I mean, the comments can go on and on and on. I'm just gonna put them on flash. We might be here
My
till 8
brother,
o'clock.
E-Man.
Amen. Okay. And then there's Stephanie
That's my
Hines,
aunt.
Tanisha Hines. All right, this the family moment. I'm gonna just do it real quick. Shay Tools,
Yeah, all my
Lisa
family here.
Miller, Kateria Boy. This is like a family reunion on the CBL Sports Mentality Show. Lord have mercy. Shay Tools, all the family, so proud of you, and that's just awesome. And let me just say to the point that Mr. Grubb said earlier, in terms of you being a special man, young man. As you were talking about your memorable moments, not a lot of folk are going to talk about other people's feats.
Yeah.
Their most memorable moments. So that shows a lot about your character. That shows how much you are truly the essence of being a team player. And I applaud you for that. I used to be a coach, and you're not going to find too many kids tell somebody their most memorable moment is about somebody else's accomplishment. So I applaud you for that. So through your interview, Mr. Grubb talked about that you played 3 sports: football, basketball, and track. How did you come to the conclusion that you were going to play football at the next level?
I mean, like basketball, like I wasn't averaging 30 and I wasn't dunking, so I already knew I was nipping that in the butt when I got out of high school. Then track, I honestly I could have went to school for track, but track wasn't really like, it was probably my favorite sport, to be honest, but it wasn't a sport that I wanted to go too far in. Like I just feel like it just was helping me so I could play football. I fell in love with football my senior year. Then once I got to that prep school, then got to Monmouth, I fell in love with it even more.
So what made you fall in love with football during your senior year?
I'm honest, like I think like just like the atmosphere and just like I feel like football is a place too where you can like let your anger out. Like, you know, you can be out there mad, you know, like you can have one of them days where you can just be a beast. And I don't know, like I just feel like my game just like all made sense for me to play football.
That's good stuff. So you didn't take the traditional route out of high school.
No.
The traditional route would normally be play high school sports, get a scholarship, go straight to play at a college or university. You decided to go to a prep school, Salisbury Prep School in Connecticut. How did you come to the conclusion that that was the best route for you coming out of high school?
Coming out of high school, like I had a lot of schools in the PSAC that wanted me to come there, like IUP and stuff like that. But like I didn't want to pay for school, so I just felt like the prep school route, it was cheaper and it made more sense. Like, cause I only played varsity 1 year, so God just gave me that plan, and it just ended up all working out for me.
So what were some of the lessons that you learned at Salisbury Prep School? How did it help prepare you for the next level?
It definitely helped me with time management. And I had to like, and it helped me be ready to be a man and get to that next level of college. Just being all the way out Connecticut, living by myself, having to do everything for myself, get myself dressed. You know, like at home, you know, my mom might lay my clothes out that day or help me with something, you know what I'm saying? But once I got up there, it helped me be more of a man.
That's good stuff. So what was your football career like at Salisbury?
It was good. It was amazing. There was a lot of talent out there. And my coach, I appreciate my coach out there too. Like he had a lot of connects and he had a plan for me once I came out there. So, you know, getting near him where he had all these connects and like when I got there, like he was working for me. Like he was sending my film to every coach in the nation at the time.
So I want you to take a look at this clip because your coach's connect obviously probably landed you to the next level. So I want you to look at where your career took you from Salisbury to the next level.
Really locked in and settled in defensively. 2nd and 7. Arhonia. Play over the middle. Here's Miller at midfield. He's got space in front. 30, 25, 20. One man to beat to the end zone. Touchdown. Dymere Miller answers.
Marquez McCray will start the Hawk series inside the Phoenix side of the 50. Pass flipped out. This is Miller on the catch, and he's got room inside the 20 and in for the touchdown drive. Receiver in motion is Green once again. Handoff given to Sheridan. This time they'll flip it. Same play run to Miller. Miller simply breaks free down the far sideline. It will be a monolith touchdown.
So those are some highlights at your career during your time at Mama. So as we see those highlights, let's talk about how you got to Mama. So how did you decide to go to Mama from Salisbury?
Yeah, this story is crazy. So at Salisbury, I picked up I think like 6 offers, and Monmouth was one of them. And I was choosing between Monmouth and UMass, but I went to my UMass official visit first, and this is my first time on a college campus. So they got me. I got a good host. He taking me everywhere. It's college. I've never been there, so I'm having an amazing time. So then after that weekend, my official for Monmouth was the next day for me to go up there and see their campus. But once I went to UMass and I seen everything going on up there, I'm like, I'm committing. So I get to calling them. But when I was calling them, they wasn't answering that night. So I called Monmouth. I said, I can't make it this weekend. I'm going to commit to UMass. Me and the coaches had a good conversation and all that, and this and third. And then the next morning, the morning I was supposed to leave to go to Monmouth, the UMass coach called me, said he took my scholarship and he used it for a running back they needed. So I didn't know what to do. Like I told Mom if I'm not coming no more, they probably move past me. So I go to my coach at Salisbury, and he told me like just to call him and see if I can still come. And then I called him, and then my receiver coach, he drove all the way out Connecticut from New Jersey to come get me to bring me to my official.
Well, that's an
Yeah,
interesting
and it was
story.
like it was a no brainer from there. I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm not committing here. I'm going here.
Now, did you tell Mama that you weren't coming?
Yeah, like I called him tonight when I was calling UMass, telling them that I wasn't coming. Said I was going to UMass.
So give us a little insight, because that had to be a peculiar call to make, calling the school that you already told that you were not coming. So give us some insight. Did you give an apology, or what did you do to get them
Yeah,
back on your radar?
I kind of just called him and I explained the situation to him, and he understood it because like the night before, I believe when I told him I was committing to UMass, we talked it up for a little bit. He's asked me just really what I was doing and stuff like that. Like it all was good, genuine love from them coaches at Monmouth. So when I called him back and I just told him the situation, they understood because how bad they wanted me there.
Two things that I learned just right there. One, they wanted you badly.
Yeah.
Two, they admire you as a great person.
Yeah.
Because typically schools will move on from you
Nah,
when they
yeah.
make that kind of call. But
Right.
that shows a lot about what they thought of you. So what did you learn about yourself as a person while you were at Mom?
I learned a lot, like I feel like I grew up at Monmouth, like from being a freshman to all the way to getting to a senior, and even had a child there. So I feel like a lot of my life was at Monmouth. Like those 4 years is 4 years that I never forget. Like even from building the friendships that I made there and stuff like that, and then obviously like having my first college experience, and then just playing at the level I was playing at there.
So we showed some highlights while you were at Mom. In what year did you know you're that dude, you're that guy as wide receiver? When did it click for you at Mom?
It kind of was the year my freshman year. I think that was what 20. It was after COVID, so I think it was 2020. Like when I just used to be at practice, I just used to be killing like all day, like every practice. I used to just be killing, and it's just like oh shoot. And then like just my coach, just him coaching me, and then after he coached me, I'm learning it fast. I'm picking up on it fast. Then I'm just going out there and I'm just doing it. But like I wasn't the guy that year though. Like I come in on third down packages and stuff like that because we had older guys. But I knew coming into that next year, once they left though, that I was going to be the guy there.
What year was that?
That would be 2022.
So it was sophomore, junior year, what year?
That was my sophomore year.
Sophomore year. So you knew you were that guy for sophomore, junior, and senior year. So
Yeah,
you
but
played.
it was my sophomore year though. It was my sophomore year of football though, because it was COVID my first year as a freshman there. So that first season got canceled. It only was a 4-game season. So my
Okay.
sophomore year of football really was my junior year. So even having that extra COVID year, that helped like grow like as far as a mentality standpoint too, and just learning the game even more, having that extra year off.
Well, that's cool. So you have a good career, stellar career at Monmouth. Then last year you decide to take your show on the road from Monmouth to another school. I want you to look at these highlights. We talk about this next school.
He's been the guy on third down tonight. Kaliakmanis wants to go deep. He's missed on 2. Miller right there this time. Fake it to Raymond. Throw that slant right in behind it, and it is caught for the touchdown.
A wash in bright sunshine here at Lane Stadium, and has a receiver over the middle. That's Dymere Miller.
10. Kaliakmanis going deep. He's got him, and he's got it.
So now you decided to roll with the big dogs in the Big Ten. What led to your decision to go from Monmouth to Rutgers?
Kind of was like, like I feel like at Monmouth I gave them everything I had, and I feel like it was time to move on to the next step. And it was a mutual agreement between me and the coaches there. They felt the same way. So that decision, and then Rutgers, making a decision to go to Rutgers was just like, it just all makes sense. It was the perfect position to come in, start in the slot. We had a new quarterback coming in, and just to help their program build up from where it was.
So were there any other schools on the radar as you're deciding to go from Monmouth, or you just knew from jump it had to be Rutgers?
No, there was other schools. Like I took a visit to Texas Tech. I was talking to Memphis a lot. They was one of the options, and Pitt too.
So
And then, there
what
was
made
other
you
offers
choose?
I had, but I didn't have enough time to get to all them, so I just narrowed it down to them for real.
So what was it about Rutgers that said this is the place?
One, it being in the Big Ten, so like the Big Ten is one of the best conferences in the nation. So being able to play at that level to help me get to the next level. And then like it was close to home on top of that. Like, the family could come travel. And then my daughter also was in Jersey too. So it just all made sense. And then on top of that, just the coaching that I was gonna have there, like from my receiver coaches being NFL coaches for years, and then even my head coach being an NFL coach. The plan they had set for me coming there was just, it all made sense for me to go there.
That's good stuff. So tell us about your coach Greg Schiano, right? Because he coached for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a season or two. I was living in Atlanta at the time, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers is one of the teams in the NFC South where the Atlanta Falcons are. So give us insight of how it was being coached by an NFL head coach who also had coached at Rutgers prior to going to NFL. After he got fired, he wound up back at Rutgers. So tell us about your time with Greg Schiano.
It was good with Coach GS. He taught me a lot as far as a man and as a football player, just learning the game within the game and stuff like that. And I feel like just being there, like it just got me so prepared for the next level as far as like how I gotta go by my days, how much football I'm actually gonna be doing every day, stuff like that. Like having a routine, taking care of my body, and just stuff like that. Like just being there and being around them group of guys that's also trying to get to the next level. The guys at mine was trying to get to the next level too, though. But like just having the resources we had there with everybody trying to get to the next level just made it feel like you already was getting ready for the NFL.
Real quickly, tell me, or tell us rather, the difference between the level of play and resources going from Monmouth to Rutgers.
I feel like the level of play, as far as the skill position, isn't really a difference. I mean, guys might get bigger and stuff like that, but then that doesn't really mean anything, honestly. But I feel like as far as skill positions, the level of play wasn't different, but definitely like the front seven, as far as offensive lines and defensive lines and stuff like that, definitely is a big difference. And what was the second part of that question?
In terms of resources,
Oh yeah, and the resources,
facilities.
yeah. Now the resources though, now that's when, yeah, like the resources at Rutgers was way different from Monmouth. But that's just like it's a school in the Big Ten, so they're bringing in more money and stuff like that. So like, and like I said, GS was NFL coach, so just the way he put our facility and like just the stuff we used to get, like as far as massages or stuff like that, like stretching, yoga, like we didn't have enough at Monmouth to afford all that.
So it's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge difference when it comes to resources. Yes. For sure.
So what would you say was your most memorable moment at Rutgers? Matter of fact, before you answer that question, when did you know during the season or in practice that you belonged at Rutgers?
It was when I first got there. I wasn't even running with the starters. They just was easing me in, getting the plays. But I was hungry. I was trying to get out there, so I was running with them. But once I got to that first practice where I started running with them, and I just was seeing how I fit in with the speed of the game and stuff like that. Because Rutgers defense is always a top Big Ten defense. So going against all them guys all on the field together and just seeing where I fit in that and how I'm making plays, I just knew I'd be good there.
All right, before I go to that memorable moment question, I got another question for you. What was your welcome to the Big Ten moment last season?
I don't think I had like a welcome to the Big Ten moment where it was like a embarrassing moment, like whoa, like that just happened. Like I didn't have one of those, but it was like it was just like some games, like the schemes and stuff would just be a little bit better. Like you know what I'm saying? Like just the play, the game speed of the game was better too. And it kind of was like it wasn't like welcome to the Big Ten moment, but it was like a understanding moment to know like, all right, like it ain't. Now I'm not gonna say all about me, but like it's not really all about me as far as in the receiver room. You get what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying. I got you. Before we get to the next step or next level, what was your most memorable moment at Rutgers?
Uh, I'll say the Virginia Tech game. That was my first game. I think it was like 80,000 people in there. And I remember we walked out and they got their thing called Enter the Sandman, where they like everybody in the crowd got all white and they just jumping and singing. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't even breathe. But even the game before that, though, our home game versus Washington, it was a blackout. And like I remember they cut the lights out. And like it was all these flashlights in the crowds, and I just was looking up like, yo, this is crazy. Like I can't believe I'm here right now. But this was mid game though, so I had to like lock back in. Like, hold on, the game is still going on, but just the atmosphere in the Big Ten just was totally different.
What was the best stadium that you played at?
The
Where
best
you were most
stadium,
impressed?
the best stadium look wise was USC, but they didn't have the most fans. The most fans though definitely was Nebraska and Virginia Tech.
Okay. Yeah, they have huge fan bases for sure.
Yeah.
So you did your thing in Mama, you did your thing at Rutgers. Now you're preparing for the NFL draft. Before we start talking about that, I wanted to share a clip that was some things stated about you by a scout who was at your pro day at Rutgers.
Rick Saratella checking in from the birthplace of college football here at Rutgers Pro Day. Drill's still underway, but I had to just hop on and tell you about Dymere Miller, the transfer wide receiver out of Monmouth. If you've been following us the last couple of years, I've been telling you about Dymere Miller at 5'11", 190 pounds, tough after the catch. He just ran a 4.32 and a 4.34 40-yard dash on my watch. 4.32, 4.34. I'm curious to see what the official times are going to be, but the whole practice bubble here was oohing and on. Very impressive from Dymere Miller.
All right, man. So this scout was impressed by your pro day. You're going into this pro day. You know NFL scouts are there. What's your mindset going into the pro day?
Mindset that you have, like all the time going in to games is just like it's payday. Like we gotta get paid today. Like it was like you had to leave it all out there. Like you had no other choice. Like this was like the last shot, kind of, other than like the film they got to show what you really made of.
That's good. So when you ran, what you ran,
Yeah.
and the oohs and the ahs took place, what was in your mind?
At pro day, you don't hear anything. Like I didn't hear no oohs and ahs when I got them running, but I knew I ran something fast though, just by we got all the young homies that's on the sideline with their phones out, clocking the time and stuff like that. And once I found out that I ran a 4.3, everything was good.
Mm.
Because as I say on another show that I do, that's all about speed, speed, and more speed. And
Right.
speed sells in the NFL. I got a couple more questions, and I'm turning it over to Mr. Grubb. We do a thing called Red Raiders Rapid Fire, where he's going to give you something for you to think about, and you got to give 1 to 3 words what immediately comes to your mind. But let me go back to the question that I want to ask you. So give us some insight on what a day looks like for an NFL draft hopeful. What does your morning look like, your afternoon and evening as you're preparing for the draft?
Usually I'm still up school with my homies that's going to draft too. So we'd come in at like 1:30ish. We'll get a lift in. We'll eat upstairs, obviously, in the football building. And after we'll get our lift in, we'll go run the little hill tunnel that we got, or we go run on the field, some hundreds and gashes and stuff like that. And then after that, after we do that, we go in the training room and we get like treatment and rehab and stuff like that. Then on the days that I'm not lifting, I get with a receiver coach and I just get some field work.
So I was watching another interview that you did, and I heard that you spent some time in my old stomping ground, Atlanta.
Yeah,
And
I
you
was
were in
out there for 2
suburban
months.
Atlanta. So what took you to Atlanta to do some of your training for the draft?
Yeah, after the season, usually everybody you get your agent and stuff, then y'all find places to go to train at so you can get ready for pro day because you only got like 2 months. So you just train hard for 2 months somewhere. And that was the spot that I landed up. That was the spot that my agent had a connection to. So I was out there for 2 months just by myself, just out there grinding.
So what were your thoughts about Atlanta?
I liked
Just
Atlanta. It was cool. I didn't really do too much out there though because I was out there by myself though, but it was a nice city though. Like I definitely live out of Atlanta, and I feel like it's a lot of money to be made out there. Like it's a lot of people out there.
and they love their sports, even though the Falcons don't have a championship. They love their sports.
Yeah,
Uh,
that too.
well, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, Mr. Grubb, it's on you. Let's do some Red Raiders rapid fire.
So before we do the Red Raiders rapid fire, I'm gonna sneak a couple things in, Rev. Dymere, I'm hoping, and I'm gonna put this call into Howie to give you a call, and hopefully the Eagles draft you because that's just a personal opinion of mine. I'm being selfish. Who's your favorite pro football team?
It was the Eagles.
What happened?
I'm about to go to the league now, man. If I don't end up there,
Excellent,
it's
Good
business.
answer.
excellent,
Good
Yeah,
answer.
excellent answer.
Good
but I was
answer.
a fan though when they won the Super Bowl though.
Excellent answer.
That was my last day though, right there.
So
Excellent.
look, last question, man. When your family has that family reunion or that Sunday dinner or whatever, who is the family member that it's an ex-athlete that tells the stories over and over and over again? And that the story keeps changing every time he tells it. Who is that
The,
family member?
the story about what about them?
Yeah. Anything about when they played, back in my day? You got any of those
Yes,
family members?
yeah. I mean, my cousin, my dad's nephew, he tries it sometimes with track about what he used to do, but he ain't even, you know, I ain't even
All right,
worried about him. And then
I'm just being nosy. That's all. I'm just
yeah,
trying
and
to.
Let's
then my
go to Red
uncles,
Raiders rapid fires. Don't be starting no family stuff on the.
my uncles and cousins on my mom's side, they try it too sometimes with my uncle Tommy, my uncle John as far as track, but they talking about they ain't even run with no spikes back then. So I'm definitely not hearing nothing that they was talking
Your Uncle
about.
John Shady Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to school with Shady. He was a year behind me.
Yeah, they said they was fast.
Shady was fast. He's not lying.
Now I believe it. I'm fast. It runs in the film, but
Yeah.
I don't think they as fast as me though.
Hey, so you're related to Tony Miller and Dwayne Miller?
Yeah.
They were some great running backs back in the day for Coatesville. You come, like I said, you come from some good stock, brother.
Yeah, for
Hey,
sure.
Rev, you want to give the rules on the Red Raider Rapid Fire?
All right, here we go, Dymere. We didn't give you the heads up on this because we wanted this to be spontaneous off the top of your head. So, Mr. Grubb is going to give you something that connects with you. It could be something dealing with Coatesville, some sport, some location, some team, so forth and so on. So we need you to answer in 1 to 3 words. No more, no less than 1 to 3 words. If you go with 3 words, I got the power of the mute button on my side. All right, so be quick on your feet. 1 to 3 words. Now you're in the fire. Go with it, Mr. Grubb.
So I try to make you laugh. I try to make you cry. I just try to do something to get a reaction of you. So here we go. 40.99. What does that mean to you? 3 words.
State record.
Bingo. I wish I had a bell. We're going to go with 2018 Pennsylvania State semifinals, football semifinals versus Harrisburg. 1 to 3 words.
Loss with 200.
We're going to say 200 is no. If it's just the numbers, well, never mind.
It's the hyphen in this. That's for 3 words.
Yeah, it's the numbers. We put in the numbers.
Yeah.
We're not writing that out.
So we're gonna go with the city of Coatesville.
Home of talent.
I like that. I like that. He pulled that out, man. I like that one.
And it could be 1 word if you wanted, because you could have just said home and then
I wanted to add an extra word in there, but I had to remember it's only 3.
Yeah.
I like
hey, I like you. I like you. You follow directions.
All right, we're gonna go with Coach Ortega.
Most wins ever.
Go ahead.
It's a little side note. Is he the one that encouraged you to run track?
He is. Him and Coach Henry.
Wow. And the last but not least, but probably the most special, in 1 to 3 words, Layla. You know she watching too.
My heart.
Cool.
Everything, love. We can keep going. We might skip the 3 words with that.
Absolutely.
That's fair. That's
no
fair. Let me add real quick. Let me go to the sports real quickly, and just real quick. All right, Salisbury.
God's plan.
Mama.
You said Monmouth?
Yep.
Let me think. The right decision.
Rutgers.
Almost there.
Big Ten.
Ooh, Big Ten. I don't. Hard-nosed football.
Hard-nosed football. NFL.
Let's get paid.
Yes, sir.
Didn't take you long on that one. Last one, NFL draft.
Foot in the door.
Foot in the door. That's 4 words, but we'll give it to you.
I didn't add the the. I ain't add the the.
FID.
That had to be a little illiterate, that one. Y'all understood what I was saying, though.
Hey, Red, real quick while we got him on, man. Dymere, and we're still playing Red Rapper, that thing that we're playing. Hey, family, brother. Tell your family in 3 words how you feel about them. The ones that were coming on down on the bus, the 40 and plus family that was coming to see you, man, and supporting you.
Everything to me.
That's good stuff. So I'm gonna do something real quickly, and I didn't give you the heads up on this, Mr. Grubb. So, have you heard of Dymere? Have you heard of Scoogie Smith?
Coach Googie, of course. He used to
A
have
legend.
diving. Yeah, Coach Googie pull up the Rip City camp, and everybody, we already knew what was going on. We was gonna chop them feet. We was gonna dive for loose balls that wasn't there. We just was diving. We was gonna take charges. Yeah, everybody know Coach Googie.
Good stuff.
That's good stuff. So I'm gonna put Mr. Grubb on the spot. Normally we do what we call a Scoogism, and we might take one of, I know him as Deacon Scoogie because he was a deacon at Passtown. We normally would take one of his quotes, dissect it, talk about what it means. So I'm gonna put Mr. Grubb on the spot. I'm gonna ask him to get in his inner Coach Scoogie. And what would Coach Scoogie say to Dymere as he's planning for the next phase of his career and life?
So what I believe Scoogie would say to Dymere, and he may have already said it to him in his past travels with Dymere. The younger Dymere may have come to Scoogie and said, Scoog, man, I'm frustrated, man. Everything that's going on, everything's not happening the way I'm thinking it's going to happen. What should I do? And Scoog probably sit down and say to him and say, man, listen, sometimes you got to take the longer road. Sometimes there's two roads to take. You're either going to go left or right. One's shorter, one's longer. Some might take the shorter road and be successful. Some of us have to take the longer road. You just got to take the long road, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to end up at your destination. And I think that's what Scoog would say to Dymere. If younger Dymere had came to him at that time, that's what he would say. And at this time, the older Dymere would definitely appreciate it. He definitely would understand. And he probably would turn around to Scoog today and say, Scoog, you was right. You was right.
I appreciate you using your inner Scoogie. And we just want to encourage you.
I was in there.
As we close this interview, first of all, we want to say thank you. We know you're on a busy schedule. For you to take the time that you did to do this interview, we greatly appreciate you. Also, I want to encourage you. You seem to be a fine young man. Never met you before, but I'm impressed by what I've seen. I thank God for the family that you have, the support that you have. And I think, as Mr. Grubb said earlier, never take that for granted, because you're going to find, and you probably have already found out through your whole career, that a lot of your teammates or opponents don't have the family base and the family love that you have. So be thankful for that every day. And obviously, you're a God-fearing man, having grown up in church, been in Bible study. Whatever you do, keep God first and allow God to order not only your steps, your starts, and your stops. And if you lean and trust in God, watch what God is going to do. It may not come in the package that you may have envisioned it, but it's going to be the package that God will for your life. So I look forward to watching you on Sundays. I look forward to even meeting you in person, because I believe the best is yet to come.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Well, it's our pleasure. Steveville, can you all do us a favor?
Appreciate you, Dymere.
Can you show your hometown guy, Dymere Miller, some love? Send up some hearts, send up some likes. If you want to put an encouraging word in the chat, go ahead and do it, and we'll pull it up before we end this show. We hope to have you on the show again. And once again, the best is yet to come. Give it up for Dymere. Great job, man. Great job. Thanks so much.
I appreciate y'all. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, good night to you. Great interview. It was worth the wait.
Yes.
It was worth the wait.
Hey, let's do the Seaville Sports Mentality Show after dark, right? You got to tell the folks, man. When I called, when we called each other, you know, Dymere. Real quick, I'm gonna tell the story. You know, real quick, Rev. So Dymere was supposed to be on the show, what, March, Rev, 31st, and you know, scheduling and everything got pushed back, and it got to the point where I was kind of feeling like I don't know if we're gonna get him on, you know, but at the last second, the boy he texted. He said, "Hey, my guy, what you doing? I'm cooking. Yeah, so I'm home, be home, right? So okay. Hope everything's great. When you gonna come on the show? Let's do it Monday. Call Kim. Kim, you know Kim's excited. Let's call Rev. I said, nah, let him do what he's doing for a minute. Then we call Rev. We all get on the phone and we talking. And I just want his family to know and the audience to know how special and appreciative we are of him coming on, because we want like the younger kids to see this, man. We want to see that if you work hard, if you continue to believe, things can happen. They can happen. And you don't quit. They might not go your way, but you don't quit. He's a perfect example of that. And that's why it was important for us, to make sure we have Dymere on this show. And thank you again, Dymere. Thank you, Shaquita, too.
Again, we thank the whole family. We thank the family, not only for what they've done for Dymere throughout his life, but just for what they did today. I mean, that's always encouraging when you know you're going on a platform and your family shows up, shows out. That does a whole lot for the psyche. And it's just a wonderful thing to see. And I think I did my touch of Christ today as we encouraged him, you know, to keep God first. We did our Scoogie moment. So we're going to just conclude on this high moment. And we appreciate all of the encouraging words and hearts and the love that you all are showing Dymere on this journey. From the interview, who wouldn't root for such a young man? You know, and whatever team picks him up, there'll be one big. I hope my Chiefs pick him up. But whatever team.
We almost got through it.
I hope my Chiefs pick him up. But if they don't, whatever team he's on, that's going to be my one B.
Whatever team he's going to be rooting for, Rev.
And you can't help but root for a kid. And I will never forget what I just witnessed when you asked him about his memorable moments in high school. For him to talk about other kids' feats that were his contemporaries, that speaks volumes of the type of young man that he is. And whatever he does, if it's football, if it's some other form of a career, as long as he stays in that kind of lane with some humility, being a team player, he's going to do well in everything that he does.
Hey, Ray, real quick, that's a running theme that we're finding out as we go through our journey with this network and this show. If you remember, during the basketball season, Amon, Colton, Larry Jr., they all spoke about their teammates. Max, they all spoke about their teammates before themselves.
Yeah.
So Dymere, he's one of the ones that he's older than them. He set the bar. You know, him and Jigs do the same thing. They set the bar. So these kids that we're giving it the platform to speak and speak to their community, man, I'm not surprised, bro. I'm not surprised. Coastal is strong, baby.
No doubt. And every Coatesvillian ought to be excited about what you witnessed today, because you literally saw one of Coatesville's finest. Well, listen, everybody, we're going to conclude the show on that high note. We greatly appreciate everybody for turning in to the Seaville Sports Mentality Show. Even with our hiatus, y'all came back in big numbers. and we greatly appreciate your presence. We'll let you all know when our next show is, because due to the spring sports being a lot on Monday, this is why we're not having as many shows, because we don't want to take away that much from being able to provide coverage for those spring sports teams. So be on the lookout. We'll let you know when our next Seville Sports Mentality show will be. Until then, peace and love, everybody. And you want to say your Russell Simmons real quick?
Real quick, right? I just want to tell you, great job tonight. Did a yeoman's job. I love you, brother. And God bless and good night.
Touche, my brother. Peace and love, everybody. Have a great night. And hit that share button. Let somebody see this wonderful interview that we did tonight. Everybody have a great evening. We're out of here.